I'm Councillor Judy Villeneuve. I'm the acting mayor, and I'll be chairing the Council-in-Committee meeting. So we have two delegations this afternoon, and our first delegation is Alan Aubert and John Sprung, if you want to come forward, and they're from the Fraser Valley Heritage Railway Society. Welcome.
Thank you, and good afternoon.
Thank you kindly for inviting us.
Yes. So we're here to provide Council and Mayor with an update of following up from our presentation from last fall. And we were informed the last time we were here that there was a presentation that we did, and we broke with tradition in that we only provided a welcome and an indication of what happened with our inaugural year with the operations of the railway. And we didn't put in any requests for money.
That was unusual.
So we are sorry to disappoint Council. So we've come this time to return to tradition. So yes, we do have a few requests in there.
Okay.
So last time we were here, we did present our timeline and our plan and where we were at that point. We had just finished the 2013 inaugural year, had 5,000 passengers on the line. And we were looking forward to a number of things happening this year, our second year of operation, and trying to run with a little bit longer season. We were looking to have up to 8,000 to 10,000 people this year. So I have an update on where we are at that. The plans were indeed to run this year, looking at 8,000, and to continue the restoration work on car 1304, the Connaught car. And we had also planned to receive the BCER 961, the steeple cad freight motor. Okay. And we did finish operations at Thanksgiving last year. Looking forward, we had mentioned that for 2015 we would continue work on 1304, and that would also include the generator. We were hoping to expand up to 10,000 passengers at that time. Looking ahead at 2016 is when we would look to connect to the Newton, having 1304 in operation, and up to 20,000 passengers. And the future after that, of course, looking further ahead is a little bit iffy as the definite timelines, but the goal is to connect up to Scott Road by 2020. So what have we accomplished since our last time here? 1225. Came into the barn after operations. The crew have been doing some maintenance on the work. We have continued the rehabilitation work on 1304 on the bodies. The car has been raised up within the car barn, and the trucks have been taken out, and they're ready to start work with them. And BCER 961 has been added to our collection. It was a freight motor that actually operated on the line up to Chilliwack. So it does have running heritage on the Fraser Valley line as well. That was a donation from the Edmonton Radial Railway. And like many things, we're very focused at what we collect, and that one just met the requirements. We continued work on the Cloverdale Station, and working in conjunction with Polytechnic University, the horticultural program. One of the horticultural classes did as a class project a landscape design for the station, and a group of students were selected by their peers to continue on and work with us to do a detailed installation, a landscaping plan, and with a number of donations we have successfully completed that, and it was all open and ready for our opening this year in May. We did start on May 11th. And due to feedback from many of our passengers last year, we've expanded our car barn tour with a guided tour and expanded the collections in there, which you'll see in a few moments. And we also have added speeder rides using a dedicated cart with our speeder on our section of the spur line, which has become a very tremendous and well-received addition. So 1225 is looking pretty clean. Okay. We've had a lot of work done on it, and it's running quite well. And I should say that our volunteer crew during the winter went over it, made a few changes and updated, so it's in good shape. 1304, shown here raised, is being worked on by the volunteer crew as per our schedule, and the trucks are now off-site at Cars Machinery in Cloverdale, where the 1225 trucks were taken. This is 961, shown here in the colors that it last operated in Edmonton during construction of their underground subway line in 2000. It has been modified slightly in that we have put back up its BCER number, and it will probably sit in this location for quite some time, and it will become the entrance to the car barn tour, with the tour through the cab and a chance for people to see the operational side of the cars. The landscaping, as I mentioned, has been completed. We have a lot of volunteer effort that's gone into it, and donations from groups like Potters Landscaping, Scotiabank, and a few other. BC Hydro have also contributed some funding towards improving the landscape area. We had a very successful opening day on Sunday, May 11th, which was following a Saturday final training outrun for all of our crew, and very happy to get back on the line. This is our speeder cart. Very happy passengers running up and down, and it's become an integral part of our training for our crew as well, for passenger handling and to follow all of our safety regulations. Okay. This picture shows Mary Jane Shannon from the Surrey Reenactors, one of the events that we're out, have exchanged hats with one of our directors, Ron Powers, who has, I'm not sure, but has become very enamored with the reenactors and seems to exchange costumes with them every year and every time they come by. I don't know what's coming up later this year. Okay. So our speeder cart has a lot of happy people running on it, and it does give us a chance to provide something in between the train rides for people to do, as well as the car barn tour, showing off a number of areas. We've expanded the collection from some of our artifacts and also increased the tour content as well, with input from some of our local historians, such as Roger Bowes and Henry Ewart. However, operations in 2014 haven't always gone quite as we had planned. So with our partners, the city, the SRY Rail Link, and also with BC Hydro, we've had to look at a few problems that have shown up. As Council is well aware, we share the spur line with a grain transportation company at the end of the spur. Basically, we have to go past them to get to the main line. They, due to a lot of their success and as an offshoot of the grain collection that is still stuck in the prairies, are working a lot longer than they had anticipated. It's quite good for them, a local success story. However, it does have an impact with us. If they are not able to finish on Friday evening, they can't clear the track. And we find out very late on a Friday if indeed they will have their cars off the track so that we can operate. And we have found that most Saturdays and a couple Sundays since we've opened, we have been unable to operate due to the fact that the track has been blocked. We were able to run this past weekend, and we were also one of the venues for the Doors Open event, which was really nice to see, and a great experience for us as well. But we have been informed by the grain company and by SRY that the interruptions due to the freight operations are planned to continue perhaps throughout the summer. This is not something that we are able to control, or in fact even SRY are able to control. It has a lot to do with things that happen outside of the city. So the impact is that the full train cars sit on the main part of the spur, which is the one that we need to use to get by. We have been in discussion with city staff, with SRY and with Hydro for a plan to alleviate this problem, to allow us to operate this year on our schedule and also into the future. Because one of the one of the outlooks for the future is that the grain situation is not going to change much. So we are looking for a permanent solution so we maintain our operational schedule. So we're looking to construct a bypass track that would go around the freight operations and allow us to have guaranteed access to the main line. So the line is here. You can see at the top Highway 10 and the bottom the BC rail line out to Roberts Bank, 180th on the right and 176 on the left, and this is where the new track would go in. The track has been designed as a donation from SRY. We have already a commitment of donation of materials for the rail, the switch, the ties, all of the ballast, and for the placement of all of the goods, and on track and inspection by the appropriate authorities. We also have a commitment from Hydro that they have to relocate some poles to be able to make it happen that we can pass underneath the wires, and they are providing city staff with an estimate of what that will be. And we're looking forward that if indeed everything comes together and Council is in agreement with the request, that we could have this in place by September and to continue to operate. So the bypass track is about 2,000 feet. Okay? It includes one switch and it would change the rail layout. As I mentioned, the track design has been done by SRY. They would donate track and and a switch. The ties would be donated from P&R Railworks, and they are also providing a very steep discount on their labor cost for placement. Other material, as you can see there, it will be donated or reduced, and the wire relocation. So from this, we are looking at the breakdown there. So it's just over $300,000, plus the various taxes that I'm sure the city is well aware of, okay, for 2014. Our plans, as mentioned, also include the continued operation and restoration of 1304. This would be all of the interior work, plus, which is our donation from volunteers to work on this effort, the truck refurbishment, which includes the trucks and the traction motors. Because the various swapping and things, the motors will need to be completely taken apart and inspected, same as we did with 1225. The trucks also need to be inspected as well, and any damage or changes made. So given our experience with 1225, we're looking at a certain cost, half of which we would look to do this year and half in 2015. So this is our current request for that. And in 2015, we'd be looking at site preparation for our car barn, the track and switch installation to make sure that the bay where 1304 is currently housed would be connected to our spur so we could actually get it out of the barn, that the traction motor refurbishment would be completed, and the trucks themselves. At that point, we'd also be looking for a second generator cart and generator for that, and again, that's within line of what we did for 1225. So looking at just over $400,000 for 2015, and in 2016, with all of the things changing and the expansion of 1304 with its own cart, we would need to enlarge the barn, which was originally planned when we did the initial design drawings, and that would be a pole barn addition on the outside. Council or staff have asked for a provisional estimate, which is $550,000, which would cover the construction and any other things that are needed for that. So there's a summary of what we're looking at spread out over the next 3 years, and what this would do would allow us to basically operate on a given schedule with guarantees that we can maintain that schedule, and we also have an indication from SRY that they would look after the maintenance of that section as well. In turn, the Society, plus our partners, SRY and BC Hydro and various other donors, are looking to provide materials for all of this, which is estimated about $600,000. The donated labor, again, based on our experience with 1225, we estimate will come in at around $450,000 in value. And we are also in discussions with staff about transferring ownership of the station, which we built with the community donations and efforts, to the City of Surrey to be included within the land amalgamation at that time. So it's a total contribution that we're looking for towards offering to the city of about $1.5 million as well.
Okay, John, I'm going to have to ask you to tie it up because we're on a bit of a timeline, and I want to be sure that we have an opportunity for...
These are the final screens.
Okay.
Yes. So we're looking to maintain our operational schedule. We would be able to start immediately with approval, and this would keep us, pardon the pun, on track to making sure that we get 1304 and 1225 to operate to Newton in 2016. We will require the second car to maintain a schedule to that new stop once it's added. Okay? The new barn will allow us to juggle and move some of the equipment around on the site, and we are looking forward to continue to work with Council towards making sure that we bring more people into the area and indeed make sure that Cloverdale retains its rail heritage in the future.
Thank you so much, and of course thank you to your organization for all that you've done to date and for participating on Saturday in Doors Open. It was very popular. So does Council have any questions? Councillor Rissotti.
Thank you for your presentation, John. And Ellen, I've never seen you so quiet ever. I wanted to ask a question. Do you generate any revenue now from the cars at this moment?
Yes, we do have ticket sales, which go towards our operational costs, and we also have souvenir sales within the car barn. The ticket sales cover the ride on 1225, the heritage car, and as of this year we have a nominal charge for the combined car barn tour and speeder rides as well.
I'd just like to add just one small point to that, because I have to say something.
Now you do, yeah.
Otherwise you'll be all upset with me. Also, within our ticket structure, as we've kept the cost extremely low and affordable, but we're also putting aside funds for maintenance, because we do know every 2 or 3 years there's going to be some big maintenance items, and we want to have sufficient funds put to one side so we don't have to come back. So all our operating costs, the fuel, everything to do with the operations and the maintenance is covered through those costs.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Hain.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Have you been working with Tourism Surrey to try and determine what kind of economic spin-off is coming, how many overnight stays, that sort of thing? You're attracting, I think, 8,000 rides this year and looking to project to 20,000 rides in the next couple of years. Are you tracking where that ridership is coming from? And again, is that creating any heads and beds for Surrey and so on with Tourism Surrey?
We are doing an informal survey of passengers as they come in, as we chat with them. Certainly there's a little delay while they're waiting to board the train. And we have found that people are coming from all over the area. We have visitors from Washington State, Vancouver Island, and some international visitors as well from offshore. It's included as part of their tour through the area. At this point, we don't have any statistics from last year on overnight stays. That is something that we'll be looking forward to tracking in the near future.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Steele.
Thank you. Just a couple of quick questions. First of all, you still have fundraising in place and the money's coming in fast and furiously, is that right?
I guess that's why we're here.
Well, I appreciate that, but I know you've done a lot of fundraising outside of City Council as well.
The fundraising is ongoing always, and as you know, one of the pledges we made at the very start of the project was that the funds we then receive from Council, we make sure it's matched, and sometimes twice as much in one form or the other from the community. Fundraising never stops. That's why they made me the fundraiser, and I never give up.
Well, I know that, Alan, for sure. And the other question, it's really sad to see that this has had to come to a halt for a while because it's very, very popular. So are you going to be able to do as much as possible this summer? Are you going to have any other programs around to you know, spark the interest of people and come during the summer?
Certainly we found that the speeder rides, the car barn tour, becoming events that people come to for themselves. And we are looking at, of course, promotional. We are working behind the scenes with SRY Rail Link and with Hydro to ensure that any chance that we can operate, we are. And we're getting some nice cooperation from the grain handler down the line right now.
Can I add a point to that?
Certainly.
I'd just like to also add a point to that. In discussion with those that would help us to build the track, with your support, we'll be probably able to start construction in the middle of July, and we're aiming to have it finished by the end of August, which means we will have all of September and through to Thanksgiving. So we will certainly salvage a large portion of the season with total predictability if we can start immediately.
Good. I thank you for that. The speeder rides are going to be a real hit with the kids for sure.
Yep.
And, you know, as long as we keep advertising and letting people know that this is still in operation, we probably, you know,
Certainly,
won't lose
unfortunately,
interest.
the speeder rides are not a replacement for riding on 1225.
No, they're not, but the kids will love them anyway.
Yes, they do.
Well, I want to thank both of you for your continuing work on this project, and we'll be getting a report back from our staff about the funding possibilities. And as you know, as a council, we really appreciate the efforts, and so does Cloverdale. So thank you for today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Moving on to our second delegation, we have Jack Hundal and Satbir Chima and Leanne Wolke from the Surrey Night Market. Are they here today? Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Let's do a quick introduction here. To my right here is Satbir Chima, and one of the organizers for the Surrey Night Market. Also have Anita Huberman here, CEO from the Surrey Board of Trade, and also Leanne Wolke, our office manager, and Sarah Pilcher, who's the Cloverdale Exhibition Ground Youth Ambassador, but also this year running for Miss BC 2014 pageant.
Okay, we're just going to ask you to talk a little bit closer into the mic. That's better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do
we control it from here? Okay. So the Surrey Night Market is a concept where we're going to be having a multicultural, multi-ethnic venue here for the city of Surrey that'll run from July 5th to August 30th, every Friday and Saturday evening from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's up here. What we're trying to do, and we will achieve hopefully, is to provide small businesses an opportunity to have a platform in the city of Surrey to showcase not only local foods, crafts, and wares, but also consumer goods and services that are provided from different businesses within the city of Surrey. Local artists and musicians will have the opportunity to perform on a live stage that'll be erected on site. The actual location will be showing up in a future slide here, but the stage itself will be projecting across the Fraser Downs area. So we won't be using the existing stage that's on site there. We'll be creating a smaller stage for local artists.
Okay.
And it'll be a stage where performers can come, they'll book their time, come to the performance free of charge. So currently we have a multi-year agreement with Cloverdale Exhibition to utilize the site right in front of the Agroplex, which is approximately 3 acres, that was used traditionally for RV. And I think on Canada Day, it'll be the VIP parking as well. So that'll be the site that we'll be erecting our facility on. And as part of the agreement, we're hoping to not only add value to the ground itself, but also for the overall beautification of Surrey as well. This will not be up, sort of in a quickly erected, sort of slapped together process. There's very clean lines of sight, very well organized, very well lit, and very well controlled access coming in and out, including to the parking lot. Unlike some other events that take place in Surrey, the revenue that is generated there will remain within Surrey. One of the early complaints or sort of concerns that we heard from the local Business Improvement Association was that events come into the Cloverdale area, they do their thing and then they leave. So this way we're hoping to be able to have the Surrey Night Market stay there, work with local vendors and support local businesses in the area. One of the key points that we heard though was there's also no bridges to cross to other night markets as well. So we have a venue here in Surrey for the first time where we can establish local residents don't need to travel, pay a toll, or travel an extra hour, 45 minutes to go to either Richmond or North Vancouver for the other night markets. And of course, we will be providing seasonal job opportunities for youth and other small businesses. So we've built partnerships already with the Surrey Board of Trade, the Cloverdale BI, the Cloverdale Exhibition Grounds, the Leader newspaper, and of course the Canadian Cancer Society. And with the Canadian Cancer Society, they actually are a non-profit organization that we're partnering with, and they'll be on site throughout the entire time for the venue. So as far as concerns of where the venue will actually be located and parking and overflow parking, so the blue area is designated as our venue area, which is the area sit directly in front of the Agroplex. The green area is going to be the free parking that will be provided for all attendees to the venue, and the orange is the overflow parking. So access can actually be achieved off of 60th Avenue, 62nd Avenue, and 64th Avenue. As a bypass for the horsemen to get to the stables, dedicated 62A Avenue, which is behind our venue, for them to access the horses there and the venues on that side of the property. Yeah, and parking is free. So all vendors must comply with the possession of a City of Surrey business license, and I just want to say that Jazz Rehal from the city bylaw manager has been, him and his team have actually been exceptionally helpful considering the short time frame we had to come up with this. Just to clarify what the licenses that are required. So one of the challenges we had early on was how do we license this? This is a new venue for Surrey. It's never been here before. So we went through our FEST application back in, I believe it was mid-May, and we quickly had to ramp up and sort of find where can we categorize these new businesses coming into Surrey. So one of the challenges we did have was that currently businesses that already have licenses within Surrey are asked to purchase an additional business license for this venue. And granted, it's about a $40 charge, but it'd be certainly our request for council, mayor and council, that for this year at least, for businesses that do have existing business licenses in Surrey, not to have to obtain a second business license for that venue. Realistically, I mean, it's going to take probably some time to sit down with FEST and other organizations to come up with a more comprehensive program for not just Surrey Night Market, but I know the food trucks as well and other initiatives that are going on here. And we'd certainly like to have a voice when those discussions are going on later on in the year through FEST. So business is also required to have the appropriate Fraser Health certification, adherence to the Surrey Night Market guidelines. What we will be doing is we'll be providing a safe and semi-permanent structure for the duration of the event through fixed tents. These will be 10 by 10 tents that will be erected on site, connected together in small pods, and will be designated as food vendors on one side with merchandise and service vendors on the other side. The site will have professional security guards that are recognized and controlled. I've got a bit of a technical error here.
I'm giving you 5 minutes is all we have, so.
Okay. The Surrey Night Market will be a drug and alcohol-free event. There's no liquor license on site there. Will be zero tolerance for drunk and intoxicated attendees. We will be prohibiting the sale of stuff like knockoff merchandise, refurbished material, and otherwise counterfeit material. To date, we have approximately 55 confirmed vendors that will be attending there. That will showcase a variety of food. It's listed in the presentation. And we'll continue to accept all types of vendors as they come through, though. So we have partnered with the Canadian Cancer Society for Cans for Cancer. So the proceeds from actually all of our recyclables on site will be donated to Canadian Cancer Society. In addition to that, there will be partial proceeds from the vending machines on site to the Canadian Cancer Society as well. We're also going to be posting having a community tent, which is open to any nonprofit organization or group in the city of Surrey that wants to come for 1 or 2 evenings and certainly promote and display their cause and their program. It will be an environmentally friendly program. So in the future, after the season, we're hoping to permit, currently we operate on Saturdays and Sundays only. We want to expand to hopefully Fridays, if the city would agree, through Fest. And certainly we want to start right after Cloverdale Rodeo. I want a quick little thank you to Brett and Michael from Cloverdale Exhibition, Jazz Holland's bylaw team, Fest Committee for User Health, and Anita Huberman, from the CEO from Surrey Board of Trade, media and councillors. And Anita's here to say a few words from the Board of Trade.
Thank you, Acting Mayor and Council. So the Surrey Board of Trade is very pleased to support the Surrey Night Market at the Cloverdale Fairgrounds. And really, it's an added functionality that will be added to the fairgrounds, in addition, as mentioned, to the rodeo and to other activities. It will add to Surrey's entertainment landscape by offering unique fusion food, arts, plenty of shopping, and entertainment. It will actually cultivate and add to Surrey's creative economy, which is something that the Board of Trade has been working on with the city to grow and enhance. It actually, all night markets have become a global phenomenon. In fact, this year, for example, in 3 significant markets, night markets have begun and were very successful, supporting small and medium-sized businesses. For example, in Los Angeles, they had their first ever night market. More than 200 small businesses and entrepreneurs filled Lot 7 near Staples Center. The Halifax night market, that started just last month. In Philadelphia, their deputy mayor for economic development actually provides grant monies of $68,000 for night markets, seeing the economic potential. So it really is a cultivation of our nighttime economy. It's meant for families in the Cloverdale area, but also within the Metro Vancouver region. So those changes that you're going to see in Cloverdale, the visual quality that is going to be enhanced by the night market, it actually will be a public space for residents, for businesses within our city. And really, the Surrey Board of Trade is very pleased to support this entrepreneurial initiative by the Surrey Night Market. Thank you for allowing me this time.
Thank you, Anita. And Councillor Hepner has a question.
I just have one question, please, of the applicant. I'm looking forward to it. It sounds like a great entertainment venue, and I wish you every success with it. I'm just inquiring relative to most of the night markets, and I have to be frank with you, the night markets I've gone to have been in warmer climates like Palm Springs. They have a lot of ag products as well. Are you actually utilizing our local farmers for some takeaway agricultural products within the night market?
Yes, we are networking. We do have local providers for some of the foods. However, I'll let Sabri answer that.
Yeah. Fraser Health actually advised us that we cannot sell raw eggs or raw meat from there.
What about raw strawberries?
And
blueberries?
Sure.
Good.
For sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Suri.
I have 2 questions. One is in regards to the number of security officers you have. How will that be determined for each night?
We're going to have anywhere between 6 to 8 trained security officers, and we just shortlisted down to 3 companies we'll be interviewing over the next few days. These companies do need to be approved by the city from the city's list as well of approved companies that the city has worked with. For nights where we have additional venues happening on site, such as the I believe it's the Going Country. There'll be additional security provided for those nights to control the access points into the Surrey Night Market and out.
And the second question is sort of maintaining the quality of what the booths are selling. You've already articulated sort of the knockoffs or having a business license, but what if somebody is selling like T-shirts or material that isn't really enhancing the image of Surrey? Do you have a way of then cutting off those vendors within your contract?
We do provide in our guidelines, anything that's offensive to the public, but quite frankly, we can't control every vendor and exactly what they're going to sell. It is part of the process is to have small businesses there as well. We would certainly not discourage any legitimate business from coming into Surrey, if you're a legitimate business in Surrey to operate as such, but we certainly don't want to put Surrey and the City of Surrey into a negative light by selling merchandise that would be offensive to Surrey or Surrey residents.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, but thank you.
Thank you very much for all the energy you've put into it and the partnerships you've built. So we're looking forward to the opening. Thank you for taking time to come today. And we're just a bit short on time now. Would someone call for an adjournment? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.